Hello there guys, and welcome back to another update video with myself, Foorun. Now today we're going to be taking a look at what is coming in the update on the 11th of August 2016. Now one of the biggest things we have coming this week is player culling. Now don't worry, we won't be killing people off, but it is a great new feature that will only show players that are within line of sight. So if they are closer than 20 meters, they will render whether or not they are in line of sight. And sleepers will render if they are closer than 30 meters regardless of whether they are in line of sight. This will be enabled by default, and if you would like to disable it, you need to open up your F1 console and type in playercull.enabled space F, and that will turn it off. It will set it to false. If you'd like to turn it back on, you do exactly the same, but instead of an F you put in a T. And if you'd like to change any of the variables, including the distance in which people will automatically render at and so on, all you need to do is open up your F1 console and type in find space cull, and then it will give you a whole list of different variables in which you can change. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate this for you guys now. So if I just quickly show you a couple of things first. This distance here at the edge of this foundation at the front, this distance is the distance in which players will spawn regardless of whether they are in line of sight. If you're closer than where I'm stood now to the building in front of me, then players will render. And from this edge of this foundation here, so from here to the building, that is the distance for sleepers. So if sleepers are within this distance from where I am stood to the building, then sleepers will render for you. So this is what the back side of this building looks like. As you can see, there are 5 players within the building. So if I run back out to the distance in which players will stop spawning if they are not in my line of sight, I can show you guys what this will look like. So here you can see I am stood on the foundation. I am 20 meters away from the building, so we can see that the 3 players in my line of sight are still rendering. But if I enter the debug camera, so as you can see my player is still stood there on that foundation, but with the debug camera I can freely move around. So I'm just going to move behind the building. And as you can see, there were 5 players in here, but there are now only 3. That is because where my player is stood, it can only see these 3 that I can see on screen in line of sight. So if I just quickly go into my F1 console and I will turn off the player culling, the other 2 players will come back. So there we go, I've just disabled it, and you can see that there are 2 players here, but if I re-enable it again, just for further proof, they will disappear once more. And there they are. So that is exactly how player culling will work. If they are not in direct line of sight of your player, you will not see them if they are outside of the ranges in which are predetermined or that you change yourself. Now this is something that should help FPS amazingly, especially if you are playing in a larger server where there are a lot of players, there are a lot of sleepers. When someone's at the other side of the map, you really don't need to be rendering them and knowing where they are. It's just wasting computer resources when you're doing that. So hopefully after this patch we're going to get a significant increase in FPS. For some people it is improving FPS by 10 to 20 FPS, so it obviously completely depends on what computer you're running and what server you're playing on, but hopefully we will all see a FPS improvement. So next up we have some double barrel shotgun buffs. Now the damage has been increased to be the same as the pipe shotgun, and the refire rate has been reduced to 0.5 seconds down from 1 second, so you'll be able to fire this a hell of a lot quicker. Spread has also been increased slightly, which means that you do more damage when you are close to your target, but less when you are farther away. We've also had a changing in the view model, as you can see here. And the aim down sight has been changed, so it's not as big as it previously was, and it does look a lot better. There's now also that little, what appears to be a wooden bit in the middle, so that you can actually clearly see where you're shooting and you're not just making it up yourself. And then as you can see here, we've also had a change as to where the hollow sight sits on here. Along with other attachments, it has been changed so that they don't look wonky, they're not sat on top of the barrel, and it is all properly lined up. So another couple of things that have popped up on the Rust Updates Twitter and have been going across Reddit are bolt-in pump reload changes, the animator updates. So if we take a look, the bolt still reloads free in the animation but puts 4 bullets in for me. And the pump shotgun still in the animation puts in 4 bullets, but I have 6 bullets in my gun. So this hasn't been added yet. It has been put up and it is something that's clearly being worked on, but it's not been added into game yet. They've also put up grenade, attach and drop VM anims, which means that they're trying to do animations for the attaching grenades to buildings and dropping them. I have checked this as well, and these haven't been added to game either. So I looked at both of the branches on these updates, and they've gone into animation_updates branch, which means that there is a branch for this, and perhaps they're doing even more animation updates, so it's not going to be added until they all get added at once. So we'll have to wait and see with this. Maybe it will make it in tonight, maybe it won't be till next week, or maybe it won't be until the forced wipe. Now, when we're on the subject of branches, the graphics_overhaul branch 2 has been merged into pre-release, but if you try and load up pre-release is not working quite yet. So hopefully some point later on today we will get pre-release back online and we will be able to go over there and check out some of those graphics overhauls. And then the last thing that I have for you guys today is around airdrops. Now, all of the garbage has been removed from the airdrop loot table, so you should be getting a lot better loot from airdrops. Supply drops now also have a random offset of 20 units, which means 20 meters. So the distance in which I showed you earlier from the stone foundation to the building, that is the offset distance, so it will not drop exactly where you drop the supply drop anymore. So now I'm just going to quickly run around. I'm going to loot all 5 of these airdrops, and then once I've looted them all, I'll show you exactly what I've got. So that is the loot that I've got, guys. I did have to put a couple of it onto my character, seeing as I couldn't actually hold all of it. But as you can see, we're not getting any random 1 wood, 1 stone, any random things that we do not want. It's all been armor, clothing, guns, ammo, a quarry, and some stuff to make auto turrets. So it's all been some pretty good loot out of this. So airdrops are going to be a lot more valuable after today's update. So that is everything from me today then, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have, then please do hit that like button. And if you would like to see more content, including my weekly update videos, then make sure that you subscribe. So that is all from me today then, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day.